This legislative session, this body has had more money than we have ever had in our history since I've been in this building to deal with our budget. And we have passed some amazing legislation out of both houses, bipartisan legislation that only got across the courtyard and got vetoed, right? And you're asking us to give a lot of credits in addition to credits that already come off our books. So we're gonna have to add these credits along with additional credits, take those off the books before future legislative bodies will even be able to think about putting together another budget and may not have the dollars that we have this current legislative session. So once this construction is complete in 2028, but the team is going to come here and they'll be playing at the Las Vegas ballpark, correct? How much money will we generate in those years leading up to the time? And will we get that money, the state and the county, while they're playing at Las Vegas ballpark? So at least we get something out of this deal and not just taking money off our sheets.
Madam Speaker Pro Tem, for the record, Jeremy Aguero. The playing at the Las Vegas ballpark is one potential option. I don't think that is an option that has necessarily been determined that that is what the A's are going to do. I know it's come up here a couple of times. I have talked to them many times about what the options look like to play games in the interim. That's been one of the options. I would not want to suggest it's been the option or even the top option. In the meantime, during the construction of the facility, the community benefits plan requires $500,000 every year to be contributed and to be dispersed, utilized throughout the community to do that during the construction side. Forgive me if I'm over answering your question, but during the construction of a $1.5 billion project, there are many jobs that are created. There's taxes that are generated both on construction materials and labor. And so those benefits will all inure in advance of the A's actually throwing out the first pitch at the new stadium. To the early portion of your question, relative to the utility of that property, if I suggested, I want to make sure that it's clear for the record, I'm not here to suggest that the corner of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard won't be developed. Of course it will, and you are 100% correct. I would only offer that, at least based on the plans that are there, what this does is add another dimension to what is going to be developed there. I think that what the private sector has recognized through this is that the advent of having a baseball stadium located there increases the value of that asset and potentially creates something that would otherwise not be creatable. To your point, there could be 100 other things that could be creatable there. But this is a bit of a unique opportunity based on the structure and what we're talking about in terms of the development. So if I suggested anything other than that, I want to make sure that I am not intending to take it to a level that you suggested I may have suggested.
And the only reason that I mentioned the Las Vegas Stadium, because in your presentation on page 27, it specifically mentioned the Las Vegas Aviators, that they would not be forced to move while the A's were playing there. So that's why I did mention that. But wherever they play, if they're going to be in Nevada playing while the stadium, if this bill passes, and I think everyone knows how I feel, I made that very clear in the first time we met, and you haven't convinced me yet, but I'm hoping you do. Will the state of Nevada and Clark County, if they're playing in Clark County, be making revenue? And what do you anticipate that revenue is until this stadium, if this bill passes, where we won't be making anything? And that's my opinion. Will we be making revenue in those years leading up to the first pitch at that new, shiny, pretty stadium on Trop and Strip?
Assemblywoman Steve Hill, just to be clear on the stadium and where they can play conversation, where Major League teams can play is subject to collective bargaining. The Players Association has to agree to play wherever they're going to play. So if it's an alternative location, and the A's have committed to have that conversation and to work to have some of their games not only at the ballpark, but potentially at the ballpark in Reno as well. But they can't commit to it because they have to enter into a collective bargaining conversation with the Major League Baseball Players Association. They can and will and have said that they will have exhibition games for certainly in the ballpark there. But that's just to be clear about that. They would like to be able to play some games in Nevada prior to moving into the stadium, but can't make that commitment right now because of that.